I listened to a podcast this morning from Dr. Pete and Steve, and they were talking about, gosh, you come out of school and you have to be a clinician, and you have to be good at that, and you have to pass boards, and you got to have that clinical heart. But then you have to start a practice, if that's what you think you have to do, and you start a practice, and then there's that. But then you're like, oh, I got to build a business too, and so there's those are three distinctly different things, and so I just kind of see myself thriving in that, and I feel like. I think yourself, myself, and some of the amazing coaches we have, I'm so in awe of the talent on the team.
Hello, and welcome to Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. This podcast is dedicated to chiropractors who are in the seasons of launching and building their practice. Join myself, Dr. Lona, and my co-host, Dr. Bobby, as we have conversations each week as it relates to building the practice of your dreams. And remember, you can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. We're here to lead you on the way. Welcome back to Build Your Remarkable podcast. I am here with someone I actually met many years ago, and he reminded me of this. So Dr. Ron Sims, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me, getting to chat chiropractic and be a new guest on the show. And you're also going to be one of our upcoming coaches for TRP. Isn't that right?
That's right. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. And why don't you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself? You've been in practice for just a minute. Just kidding. And where you're at and just a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Yes, gosh, typical story, hurt myself playing sports, never even knew what chiropractic was. I grew up in a really allopathic family. My mom was a critical care nurse, and I remember hurting my back in college playing football and met this amazing chiropractor, Dr. Kim Raymont in Southern California. She was just such a good chiropractor, and she came to the gym that I was working at and did a spinal screening on the SAM machine, and I got on the SAM machine, and it was a disaster. And she actually knew I was a starving student, and she gave me some free care. And then I was so intrigued as a pre-med major about this thing called chiropractic, never had heard about it. And I was so amazed by the results, obviously. And so I asked if I could get a part-time job in her office, and she said, absolutely. So I began to work 8 to 10 hours a week in her office, developing x-rays, helping new patients with some of the intake. And I just knew I wanted to be a chiropractor. Of course, my mom thought I was joining a cult. But, I went to LACC, knowing nothing about the philosophy of chiropractic, and came in from a sports mechanistic standpoint. And that's kind of how it started for me. I started my practice as an associate. Thank the good Lord, I got an associateship with Dr. Greg Judd, who is a Palmer Davenport grad, super philosophical, amazing communicator, phenomenal adjuster. Worked 5 years with him, and then I relocated back to my hometown of El Dorado Hills, California, 30 minutes east of Sacramento, and started my own practice in 1996. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah. Now I have 2 locations. I've got 2, soon to be 4 associates, and I'm just having a blast, and I love it.
You are energized. I can say that. So that fast forward, I met you coming out to Sacramento to do a talk at your core group. So
that's right.
Not only drank the Kool-Aid, but you started propagating the Kool-Aid in your region, right?
That's right.
Yes.
I'm trying. I'm now, like you said, a coach in training. It should be noted that I'm a 13-year TRP client. I've been coaching with Steven that whole time. And I'm in an amazing scale mastermind right now. I love my mastermind group. Some great docs in there. So yeah, super fired up, super excited to be a coach with you, and look forward to learning from you. I love what you're doing with the schools. Yeah. And I remember when you came to California, we were so impressed. And again, and that was probably 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Your energy, your passion. I think what the comment was "Girl on Fire." I think that was kind of a song back then. But we were so impressed by you. And then to see you as a TRP coach many years later was really cool. Full circle moment for me.
Yeah,
and
same.
So I can't wait to learn from you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's funny. I love that you brought me back to that moment, because I definitely remember being nervous and going anyways and sharing. And that was early on for me. And, I want to underline something you just said there. Like, you've been with TRP over a decade and been learning. And you said, I love my mastermind group and I'm getting so much from it. And one thing I notice is that from the clients who it's like they keep growing, they keep expanding. There's more opportunity. It's this like laps around the track. They're going deeper. They're learning more. They've heard things 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times and they're just implementing. So I'd love your thoughts on that, because I think when we have less wisdom, perhaps we always are like moving on to the next thing and the next thing, instead of like, hey, there's more for me to chew on here and I didn't implement that well, or let me consider this from a different standpoint. So what's been your thought process with that?
Yeah, I mean, I was more of a fly by the seat of my pants, passionate communicator, health talks, new patients all the time. Also consider myself a very good adjuster. So I feel like the horsepower from just that is what helped me build a pretty
Yes.
good, I would say, practice. But what got me was the comment of, a remarkable life in addition to a remarkable practice, not in lieu of, it was like, for a while there, I was like getting home late, not
Hmm.
tucking the kids in, missing some key stuff. And
Hmm.
it really, when Steven came to speak at my core group in 2012-ish, he was the systems guy. And that just really hit me that I knew that was my weak spot. I knew that was my blind spot. And even to this day, 13 years in, there's still some things that I just struggle with, like executing on the Better Results Faster workshop, which is such a great retention tool.
Hmm.
And sometimes you feel a little overwhelmed and you can only implement so much, but the coaching I've received has been so good at not holding me to the fire on everything at once, just a
Hmm.
little bites here, little bites there. And, I've been able to almost quadruple my revenue in that 12 years.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah. So
that's awesome. All right, so let's talk about that, because part of quadrupling your revenue was realizing, how do I have other doctors come in here and be successful and do this thing called having a chiropractic team at a higher level? So I would love to hear from your laps around that track. Like, what have you learned in bringing on associates?
yes, I'll tell you, again, fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy. I really like this guy, or I really like this girl. And I bring people on without any level of background check.
Mhm.
And I didn't do personality testing. I just was going with my gut. And then through my relationship with Steven and the TRP, was learning that, well, there's different types of associates. Back then I think it was the car metaphor of you got your race car business builder. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I kept hiring, and that was really the last thing I should have been hiring.
Mhm.
And then just by the grace of God, a young lady landed on my lap who was an incredible caregiver. She wasn't going to do health talks.
Mhm.
She didn't want to do screenings. She was a single mom
Mhm.
and she just wanted to leave at 4:30, but unbelievable adjuster, great, high empathy. And it wasn't like I took her through background tests. It was just, again, by the grace of God. And then began to learn like, wow, I got to have way more layers. So I started using Chiro matchmakers and just really using TRP's own principles that are built into the remarkable system of really slow down to speed up. I know we talked about that. And so
Mhm.
I probably had 4 associates that just kind of blew up. And I think a good testament to me on that is I'm not in relationship with any of them. Whereas if you talk to Steven, he still connects with all the associates he's had in the years, and because he did it the right way. And
Mhm.
now all my past associates and I have great relationships since I began to implement some of these systems.
Right.
And it was around that time I read Wickham's book, Traction. And, looking at that going, oh, okay, wow, if you have a durable business, and Steven was speaking this too, of, you're doing way too much. If somebody were to come buy it, or if you got hurt mountain biking or something, who's going to want to come in and give you high dollar and have to do all the stuff I'm doing? They're
Right.
basically buying a really hard job from me. And so now I look at it, I'm under 30% of the revenue comes from me. I'm moving toward 20%. And I've got this totem pole system set up where I have a lead associate who now is clinic director. I have another associate who's going to be clinic director of one of our locations. And then we've got 2 interns coming in that'll be basically new patient concierge until they get through the competency checklist, and then they'll be caregivers. And so that's kind of a real fast Reader's Digest version of my journey. I didn't give up on it. Can I say a sad story about somebody I know that did give up on associates because they got burnt like I did?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
they just said, hey, I'm just not, they just, instead of saying, I got to do better at figuring this out, they just said, I'm not good at this. And
Mhm.
sadly, they had a really bad health event
Mm.
and they had to walk away from a multi-million-dollar practice because they couldn't get a buyer.
Mm.
They were in the hospital and they didn't have any caregivers besides themselves in the practice. And so it just reminded me, and Dr. Steven knows this gentleman, he's a wonderful chiropractor, one of the greatest chiropractors I've ever known. But
Mm.
it's just a sad example of
Right.
and not having a durable practice.
Well, and I think many times we've been brought up in systems where it really celebrated you being the real workhorse in the
Yeah,
practice, right?
I
And
know.
there's a time and a place for that, and you build your chops on that to some extent. And it's really not good for chiropractic or your patients when the practice isn't durable, right? So there is this other thinking that I know, same as you, I'm so grateful TRP helped me open my mind to how creating a team, being a team that's on a mission, being stronger because the team carries the load with you, like all of these things have made my life so much better. And I'm sure yours too. And
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of that is learning how to really look at what role is available on the team. Who am I truly trying to hire from a characteristic? What is this role going to
that's
really
right.
be designed for? So that we're not trying to put race cars into the family van lane and vice versa, right?
That's great. You're exactly right. And so, of course, I had to learn by through my mistakes, but I didn't give up on it. But no, I love what you say there, and I think without the proper coaching, for me at least, somebody who calls me out on stuff like that, I would have probably still been spinning my tires.
Hmm. Well, that's why we don't do it in a vacuum, right? We can
That's right.
call on other people's wisdom to help us so that we don't have to keep banging our head on the same problem. With that said, so Dr. Ron, when you think about who am I most excited to work with, like now that you will be coaching and you have so much wisdom to share, especially on building teams, like what is your most, when you think about who would I love to help with what problems, what are some of those issues that you would like to help other chiropractors navigate?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think for me, naturally, because of my own story,
Mhm.
that I'm going to probably gravitate toward doctors that have maybe been spinning their wheels a little bit, but they've built a pretty nice book of business just on their own horsepower, and they're now kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And so I think helping them get unstuck and get out of that perpetual launch build, they're trying to build, they're still kind of stuck in launch.
Mhm.
And so I just really feel like that's when TRP came into my life. So I think naturally for me, that's where I think I'll probably offer the most benefit. And then for those docs out there that are trying to scale and that are overwhelmed,
Mhm.
and really, when I look at that accountability grid,
Mhm.
for me is like my new, open up every day. It's the first thing that pops up on my screensaver is my accountability grid.
That's
And just
awesome.
realizing the 15 primary functions of a chiropractic practice. And if you would have said that to me back then, I'd have been so overwhelmed to see my name on every darn box. And so I
Mhm.
think that's kind of where I see myself thriving. Although
Right.
I have launched a couple of practices, so I certainly, would love to help a young doc launch properly too. But I think probably more, I would say, build to scale.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it goes back to like when you get stuck in these places, you cannot address the issue with the same level of thinking. And that's where having a coach or having a tribe of people who have walked this road many different ways and many different
yeah,
outcomes, all leading to not being stuck anymore, is so helpful. And I think that's one of the other incredible things about our coaching system is just how many unique coaches are involved in it, all utilizing the tools that TRP is bringing, but all of us have different practices and different techniques and different numbers of employees. And yet we all look at those 15 primary functions of attraction, conversion, retention, team building, and money and realize, look, this is the truth. You got to figure these out. These are the dials of the practice. And until someone teaches you that, you don't know where to spin your practice. Why am I stuck? Why is this lever over here the continual problem in my practice that I somehow don't know to look at? And that's
that's
so
right.
frustrating, right?
Super frustrating. And I listened to a podcast this morning from Dr. Pete and Steve, and they were talking about, gosh, you come out of school and you have to be a clinician, and you have to be good at that, and you have to pass boards, and you got to have that clinical heart. But then you have to start a practice, if that's what you think you have to do, and you start a practice, and then there's that. But then you're like, oh, I got to build a business too. And so those are three distinctly different things. And so
Yes.
I just kind of see myself thriving in that. And I feel like, I think yourself, myself, and some of the amazing coaches we have, I'm so in awe of the talent on the team. And I think, as far as those young doctors out there, and for me, it was like, I could help so many more human beings with chiropractic being a coach than I can scaling a business. And I just want to do both. I'm going
Right.
to keep scaling. But then I thought, man, if I could help 20 chiropractors see more people, that's a greater impact I could ever have in El Dorado Hills or Folsom, California. And so I'm super excited to be part of that bigger vision. They'll pulled by your vision, pushed by your purpose. And I think everybody that I've met on the team that's a coach is super vision oriented as far as helping humanity with chiropractic. And like they've said, this is our moment, right?
Yeah.
They have this moment where we could really be thrust into the limelight with the change in health perspectives in our country and some of the awesome changes we're seeing coming through with healthcare. So I'm super excited.
You must have just picked up my ESP there, because I was going to ask you, like, what are you most excited about right now in chiropractic? Like, what do you think this time is? What opportunity do we have? Right.
Well, and I think I would ask you a question as part of my answer is, I don't know about you, but in my practice, we have had more new patients coming in that they just want to try chiropractic out. And, I think, what we say, public perception, we're slightly above timeshare salesmen and car salesmen as far as perception. And of course, the medical model's done us no favors there. But then as far as customer satisfaction, we're near the top, which is really amazing. It's like once they come to us and they learn about us, they're like, I've been missing this the whole time. And I don't know about you, but I've been seeing more of that lately. And it really encourages me, because COVID discouraged me. And then really, to me, the heroes are the young moms. I'm just telling you, my practice is full of these young moms, because I was getting discouraged during COVID. Everybody was afraid, But then all these young moms started coming up, and they're really into biohacking, and they're taking care of their kids. And the chiropractors, we're the original biohackers.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun. I think this is our moment.
Oh, for sure. I agree. And something I was at in the last week was talking about too, that the moms are having the conversation of like, I know my child's nervous system is dysregulated, or I know I'm dysregulated. They maybe don't know yet that chiropractic is part of that solution. And that's where our opportunity, we still have to go and change that narrative and help people understand where chiropractic fits into this. But to your point, Dr. Ron, I think we have an incredible opportunity right now.
Totally.
And every chiropractor says there's never been a better time to be a chiropractor than now, but I think it's very much true right now. So, yeah.
I'm just concerned that we don't have enough soldiers that are ready for the victory here.
Yes.
And so I think that's why TRP is critical right now. Our place in the chiropractic story, we just have to keep marketing and getting on the campuses, because that's when we start the messaging, right? So
yes.
Yeah, I'm super optimistic.
And filling the practices that can bring in more docs, so that not everyone has to be entrepreneurial about it, that we can have the caregiver docs working in a great team effort, serving more of the community. Like, I agree with you that I think a critical moment for our chiropractic right now is, can we put on our big boy pants of like, what is the next iteration of business and how we could create more durability for our practices so more of our communities could be seen, right?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, what a great discussion. We could go a lot longer, I'm sure. We'll have you on again. And I know if you're looking for him, you'll be able to see him at the Immersions and connect with him online. I'm sure your strategy sessions will be something that we can offer very soon here. So keep watching our Instagram pages, and Dr. Ron will be one of the coaches you'll get to connect with in the very near future. So thank you for spending some time together today, Dr. Ron, and I know I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to lock arms with you guys on this.
Sounds good. We'll see you soon. Hey, everyone, please listen in for this next bonus interview of one of our remarkable success partners. They all help us help more people find the benefits of chiropractic. So listen on.
Welcome back, Remarkables. I have an awesome opportunity to be with Mark Lewis with Platinum, and I am very excited to hear what he has to say, because in all honesty, I'm one of those people that have had a software for the last 15 years. It's been the same, and I know I'm staring down the barrel of a big project of actually changing to a software. And we had the opportunity to do a strategy call with Mark and his team here in a couple of months. So honestly, I'm going to be learning as much about this podcast as all of you that are listening as we go through this. So I want to introduce Mark Lewis. And so, one of the very first questions that I have for you, Mark, is, what is a specific problem that you solve? All businesses exist to solve a problem for another person. So what kind of a problem does Platinum solve for us chiropractors?
Well, Dr. Kevin, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here with the TRP community. And, Platinum's been around for over 30 years now. I've been with the company 24 years myself. And, when Platinum first started off, it was designed as, there wasn't a real system out there to kind of put all your notes together, put your billing together, put your schedule book together, and kind of have it all in one system. So Platinum was the first company to ever do this. There were other companies out there like EasyBiz that did front desk, or some other ones, Eclipse that did front desk, but nobody had notes and billing and everything all in one. And what we try to do is make it really simple in that we just had two screens. So there's two screens there. It was really efficient. We really specialize in high volume type practices so that, with two screens, I mean, it was really easy. You wouldn't have to go searching through 7 different icons or all these different things to do. Everything that we built was for efficiency, speed, and to make it easier on the doctor. So I had people come up to me and go, I almost replaced a staff member with your system. I said, you didn't replace them. You moved them to a better position where they can help grow your practice. So that was what Platinum was all about.
That's right. You put the right person in the right seat doing the right work the right way.
Exactly.
And I
Don't
was
need anybody
looking on
pushing buttons.
your website too. That was all the way back in 1990. Is that correct?
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
about 99, 98. We came to the United States really in the year 2000. I started in 2003, but it had been around
Okay.
for quite some time.
Okay, that's terrific. So, what every chiropractor is interested in too is like a return on investment, right? So, as the CEOs are listening to this, what kind of a return on investment can a software like this create for a practice?
Yeah, so your return on your investment, you're looking at several different things. Number one is your time. So time is a great investment to get back, because what we want to do, we want to have our doctors have their notes done real time, right there at the table. So when, if they're seeing 200, 300 a day, at the end of the day, they can walk out with the last patient. And if we can give them that time back, that is huge. Now, financially, there should also be, because we've come up to a lot of practices, stuff like that. A lot of people like to do these financial care plans. And we walked in practice going, okay, let's check your financial care plans, and found that 60, 70, 80% of the people weren't paying. They were just coming in because they forgot to do re-signs and forgot to do all the other stuff that they needed to do to collect that money on top of that. So, we're looking, 50, 60, 70% return on investment just for Platinum on your care plan side. We're trying to make the billing easier so that you can just hit a couple of buttons. It'll auto post for you so you can make sure that those reconciliations are doing good. And so really you should receive quite a big return investment on your EHR. And if it's costing you more time or costing you money or having to add more things to it, you need to look somewhere. I know we talked a little bit earlier about it's a little difficult to switch systems.
Yeah.
And we're trying to make that easier and easier at Platinum. We've got a team in overseas that's actually helping us take some other systems and kind of scrape some stuff off to make it even easier for you to move. We can actually do on-site installs, which no company does. We can come out to your office and help you for a couple of days and make sure that transition's good without the staff having to kill each other. And so we try to make it as easy possible to make your transition, to make sure you're up and running with the system and using it to the most efficient way you can.
That's incredible too. And you guys integrate with a lot of other systems as well, right? Such as like
We do.
SCED.
We do.
Yeah. And I also think too of like, we talk about a return on investment, retention, that's something that I'm big on in my practice, and something that I'm heavy on with coaching is, we have an opportunity to teach one human being why we take care of our spines the way that we do, and why we take care of the spines of our family members. And it's our job to not only educate those people, but also to hold them accountable. And I tell you what, like, you get busy. I mean, we're a high volume practice, right? And when
Mhm.
you see a bunch of people and someone gets out the door before they get their next book of appointments scheduled, and that person, they get busy, right? Life, kids, soccer
Oh
practice
yeah.
and whatnot, and they fall out of your practice because of something as simple as if they were just able to follow through with their scheduling. So, when I look at return on investment, I look at also the time, like you were mentioning, the financial piece, and not the loss, right? So people that are not having the simplicity of getting those people rescheduled, I mean, you're losing money. So it's not only a return on investment, it's also, preventing loss, which I think is a really, really big thing. And I cut you
Exactly.
off. You were starting to talk about some of the people that you integrate with. Did you want to speak to that for a moment?
Yeah, so we've got quite a few integrations that really help out and stuff like that. So like SCED or Aloha or Fortis or Cash Practice, and it's just trying to make it easier for them to get the things that they need. One of the things you're talking about retention, on our screen right there, they actually show every single time the person's come in over the last couple of weeks. So if they came in once, it's green, twice it's yellow, red, it's three times, they miss an appointment, it's blue. So there's a color code that actually tracks that out. So I was at a seminar this weekend, a guy came up to me and said, I have this other system, just doesn't do that. And I miss that so much with Platinum. I'm ready to come back because just looking at that tells me, are they dropping off right now? Are they on track? If I can get them as soon as they start missing that one or two appointment, that's when you've got to hit it to say,
Right.
this is not acceptable.
That's right.
And if you don't know that with your system, then you've lost that opportunity.
Absolutely. Here's a big question for you too is, considering what's what's important next, as you look ahead and assess the needs for our profession, how are you helping doctors be prepared to succeed in the future?
I'm glad you asked, because we are coming out with Platinum 2.0, which will come in. I'm going to kind of show you a little diagram here if I can.
Yep.
And this is kind of what we're doing. You talked a little bit about um, the integration with other programs, and the integration is great, but you're spending lots of money out there buying your EHR, buying your CRM system that you're trying to track everything. You're doing maybe posture or exercises or education. What we're going to be doing is bringing this all to one entity. So you'll see here a Platinum X. So because we have Platinum 1.0 out right now, we have Platinum 2.0 coming out. We'll have Platinum 3.0, 4.0. We'll keep going with that. And so what we're trying to build is our EHR system will be in the middle of this. So we have an RCM solution that we're implementing, a revenue cycle management. We'll be able to go out and help you collect payments from your patients. It'll make it easier with auto processing of invoices if you want to send those out in statements. They can pay online. They can pay through their cell phone. So we're trying to make that easier. We also have the integrated payment platform, our own now. So you don't have to go out and get some other of these companies. I'm not going to mention any names on here, but the other companies that are out there. But now Platinum will have their own, which means we can control the pricing. We can keep it low. We can beat or meet anybody else out there. Since it's not our main business, but it'll integrate completely where you don't have to do syncing and stuff like that and go other places. We've partnered with a posture analysis and range of motion company called Biotonics, which it will be inside of Platinum, which will actually be able to just take pictures of people. It'll do all the range of motion calculations for you automatically. It'll give the posture analysis. So that will be really helpful, for re-exams and new patients and things like that. We've also partnered with another group called Weavy, which does exercise. They have over 20,000 exercises online. And basically what you can do from Platinum is hit, I want to suggest these exercises. It'll send it to their phone, and then they can track on their phone through their smartwatch, through their phone exercise program of what they're doing and how they're doing it. And you'll get a report back of that for your remote training purposes. Therapy monitoring for your patients, which is going to be incredible in there. And actually, there's billing codes that we have in there where you can bill for those remote monitoring services as well. Our educational videos and learning material we have. We've got some other 3D type stuff that we have in there, which you can send your patients. And we have our own CRM solution as well. So we've partnered with another CRM company that's going to allow to monitor all of your Facebook ads, social media. You can do landing pages. You can do all of your AI analysis of what's going on. Your SEO will be tracked. And then you can actually put your patients in there, put them on different workflows if you want to. So if you want to send an email to them after this visit or this deal or this time, it'll track all that for you. It also has SMS built into it and an email built into it as well. So that CRM is going to allow you to track those opportunities, move them through your funnel, and actually have them become patients in the office. And then once they're patients, if they do to drop out of care, you could put them back in the funnel again and take them through a process there also. And the last thing is we're going to actually have our own patient mobile app. And on the mobile app, they'll get push notifications, reminders. They'll be able to see and check their notes for the Cures Act. If you want to have that on there, they'll be able to make payments on there, see their schedules, see their care plans. So really what we're trying to do is create an all-encompassing system to where you don't have to go out. Because some of these things you're paying, I got some offices paying, $1,500 a month for all the different things. So we can bring in this to one package for less than $400 a month. I think people are going to be really happy with that.
Mark, as you were talking there, the dollar signs were going through my head. I'm like, okay, there's 300 and some dollars, there's 198 there. I calculated 1,200, if not $1,500 that you could save our office. And like I said, I'm really excited. We get to go through this with you guys in a couple months. And I mean, you want to talk about a return on investment.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And to have
Yeah.
it all in one place, the simplicity, this isn't just cobbled together as a way to save a couple $100 a month. This is compiling all of the most usable and necessary tools in one place. So I'm very, very excited about this. Mark, let us know, like, how can people take that next step to get in contact with you and to see this demo? So what's your contact info? What steps do they need to take to get in touch with you?
Perfect. Please give me a call anytime. My cell phone number is area code 512-775-4917. They can call me directly. m.lewis@platinumsystem, singular.com, platinumsystem.com. They can email me with anything that they want to do. They can go to our website, or they can call our main office at 888-808-4898. So there's several different ways they can get a hold of us there, and we'd love to talk to them. We are still, like I said, we're still in the building process of Platinum 2.0. We're looking to put our first office here in August next month, and then hopefully a full release in September, knock on wood, and we'll get this thing moving and moving forward. It's a project, though. It's a huge animal to move.
Sounds like it. That's incredible. Thank you, Mark, for your time. And, for those of you that are out there questioning, definitely do a strategy call with this guy. Listen to what he has. You won't be disappointed. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, please click the links in the show notes to schedule a call.